the first one, this is one you got to just kind of hear me out on, because I fully understand it would be crazy if Penske were to go 3 years in a row for winning a championship. But Joey Logano hanging at 12-1 seems a bit crazy to me. I think that number is worth looking at because for whatever reason, Penske has figured out a way to make it through as a company, make it through this 16 round of 16, 12, 8, and then make it to the finals. Mm-hmm. And so, a couple of years ago, Logano wins the title. Last year it was Blaney, and it's at the sacrifice of their other drivers, right? Because once the other guys eliminated, they just all focus, it seems like, the resources on this one guy. Well, Logano, he had a down year last year. So I think we need to take advantage of some of the recency bias that the books are giving us here. And so 12-1 to the championship is solid. To Elliot's point about the championship 4 number, this is one that I really like because when you have these championship bets and you make it to the finals, you kind of feel like you won, but you didn't yet. They got to get the job done, but you're like, well, I'm in the finals with this 12-1 ticket. Logano being at least 225 I saw on Caesars. I don't know if you can find them elsewhere. 225 to make the final 4. Let me just give you a little wonky stat here, boys. Every even year since they've had this format, he has made the final 4. Weird. So that's like an auto bet for that value.
I tell you what, I'm glad I have other Cup title numbers on my board because I had Logano. I had him written down at 11-1. I saw him at DraftKings. 12-1, even better. I had that even year stat all queued up.
You had that too. I'm sorry.
I did. Sorry. No, you're good, man. I appreciate it. That I'm not off base here in being like, well, I don't know what that number seems pretty damn good. And he's a guy that down year last year, it doesn't matter. He's at a point now where, as one of the seasoned veterans of the sport, he's always out there, always going to, factor in for a couple of wins a season, going to be a threat. And like you said, they've got this playoffs figured out that if they can have a couple of playoff points built up, not have bad luck early. A couple of years ago, Ryan Blaney had some bad luck early, got wiped out in the round of 16, I think, had a bad couple of races there. If you can make it through, if you can just make it there, Logano definitely has the racecraft. He's got the experience. He's already won it at Phoenix a couple of times. So why not again this year?
We got Stan in the chat saying you can get Logano over 1.5 wins at plus 110. Last season, he had 11 top 5s, which was the 4th best in the series. This is my favorite futures bet. Well, Stan, you freaking beat me to the punch because that's exactly where I was going to go. And I was just going to say, I'm on right before this show. I don't know if it updated in the Betting Pros app or not yet, but I actually went 2 units down on this exact bet. I got him at plus 105 over at Bet Rivers, over 1.5 wins. So I'm curious to hear where you got plus 110. A little too late for me there. But yeah, when you look at Joey Logano here, 14 wins in the last 6 years, average of 2.3 wins per season. And as Stan points out, he was very good last season, still getting top 5, just really wasn't in contention for wins. The one thing I like about him that we haven't really mentioned, this guy is a good qualifier in this next gen car, 6 poles in the last 2 years. I think that pays dividends. Also top 10 still in the iFantasy Racing's total speed rankings across the last seasons as well. So, and I kind of feel like, Phil, you're on to something here. I didn't even think about taking him for the championship, or to make the championship 4. But I think this first round exit helps give a little more motivation, and the new schedule might help as well. We're going to Iowa, first time at a speedway. We know what Joey can do every time. Back at Chicago, Joey was pretty good at Chicago, top 10 run for him last year. And then back to the Indy Oval, I like him. If we could bet Indy right now, I would take him on the outright. He was on the pole the last time we were there, and 7 out of his last 8 trips to the Brickyard on the oval, he's been in the top 10. So I think that the schedule changes are going to help him too.
Mm-hmm. Let me just put my last comment on Joey is kind of the intangibles. Mm-hmm. He was awkward last year. There was something off about him. I think throughout the season, before his exit of the playoffs, I think we could all say he was not himself, just off the track, whatever it was. I don't know what he had going on. I know it was public that he did not like the Netflix situation following him around or even in the garage. So he was a little distracted. But you know what I love? Him arguing with Ty Gibbs after that race.
Yep.
That's like, he's back, baby. He loves being the finger wagging, son of a bitch. And whether you love him or hate him, like, I go through phases where like he's annoying as hell. But when I'm on him, like, I like that kind of fire, because it shows that he's like, okay, I'm back. I'm really into this. I'm here. So that's, the intangible aspect of it.
To me, what it kind of reminds me of is like earlier this season, everyone in the fantasy football community, the NFL betting community, was saying Travis Kelce is washed. Travis Kelce admitted himself that he was a little bit overexposed. He was on every damn commercial. He was on every damn podcast. I think Joey kind of got that same thing, that maybe racing was still his number one priority, but maybe there were some big second and third priorities. I think now he sees, hey, I need to really focus in here if I want to make a run at the top 4 or the top 8 even. So